For years, we were told to be silent and wait for our turn. But now we are done speaking. We are marching and demanding a future which listens to us. The recent protest in Nepal by the Gen Z was thought revolutionary. Let's dive deeper into the conversation and what happened in that period. Let's go a few days before the protest which happened in September. There was a hashtag going on in the social media known as Nepokids and Nepotism, where people who were against the government and against the corruption were posting the lavish lifestyle of the son and daughter of politicians who were experiencing a very beautiful life. And they were exposing them regarding their and criticizing the politicians' kids against the nepo kids, telling them nepo kids and nepotism and the corruption over there. And after a few days, we can see the social media ban. The government bans the 26 social media sites, which was taken as a slap from the Gen Z people for their voices. And it also became a fuel for the fire which is about to come up in September 9. The government bodies banned the 26 social media sites, including the big giants like Facebook, Instagram, and TikToks, which was intended by the officials and expressed as the way to enforce the social media sites to establish the headquarters or establish the office in their own country and do the registration part over there. However, it was misinterpreted and taken something else by the Gen Z people, which was first over the social media and all the corruption and the violation against the government. Now the people started turning into the streets. People is a peaceful protest came in front of the mighty God Nepal, standing against the corruption, standing against the recent social media ban. However, it was initially depreciated something differently by the foreign newspapers. They were depreciating the news by like social media ban became the crucial reason for Gen Z to come into the street and speak against the government. However, it was intended for the corruption, not from the single moment of banning the social media, but it was from the whole lot of generation things. For years and years, people were hiding their intentions. Government. With that being said, the protest turned into little violent. In the protest, when the people and the protesters started marching towards the administration office, the government official, the CDO, gave the order of shoot on sight whoever tries to violate the property of the government. Not only government, but whoever tries to disrupt the property of public, which is known as public properties. The government gave the shoot on sight order. The police and the army were enforced at that time. We can see in a lot of videos that police officers shooting the young people, including the youngest a 12 years old kid and the second youngest is a 19 years old kid, and also some protesters from there. Later on, aftermath, we found out that there were 72 people died in that protest. Among them, a lot of them were protesters, some of them were prisoners, and some of them were police officers as well. On September 9, the whole city Kathmandu was set on the curfew due to the violations and the protests which turned very violent against the government. And when the police officers got ordered to shoot the people, they enforced that. They used that as a way to control the crowd. But however, it turned something different. After the next day, September 10, the KP Sharma Oli, the Prime Minister of Nepal, who resigned from the office. There was no reason telling Nepal why he resigned his post, but he was telling in the meeting earlier that not to resign for the other candidates. However, he himself resigned the post. On the 10th September, the violation and the anger in the Gen Z people turned into something different level. They started marching and fighting towards the home of politicians and burning them. The home of Ram Barno Yadav, the president of Nepal, was burned. The home of Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli was burned, and his wife and him himself has to escape the country. The protest and the rebellion against the government turned into something different route, where a lot of people were injured, a lot of people were killed. But finally, the new government was established, which was very a political instability at the initial. But when the government bodies took off the ban on the September 10, now finally Gen Z can start their voice in social media. Now they are going to start the Discord group known as Hami Nepal, where there were 100,000 members, Nepalese members, and almost around 10,000 active members. In that Discord group, they started choosing for the new prime minister, or the nominee for the temporary prime minister before the new election happens. In that option, they choose the Balinsa, the Sushila Karki, Harka Sampang, and a lot of many peoples. However, the members and all active members with their discussion and representatives of people having a meeting and all, they selected Sushila Karki as a candidate, the prime minister and temporary person who can handle the country. However, after all this incident, there are some conspiracies which talks about why this incident happened and what can be the main reason. However, there can be several conspiracies and several reasons why this Gen Z movement happened. One of the reasons was the corruption itself, but some officials from outside they say that the thing was happened by the external agencies. Let's go towards the politics of Nepal first. The KP Somali, who is known as the pro-Chinese, because he always signs a deal with the China, not with the India. However, both of countries are the neighboring countries, and he tries to do something that benefits the country. And in the recent days, there was a Millionaire Act where $500 million were signed and given by the American government for the establishment of the infrastructure in the country. However, it was supposed to be something different and something against the Chinese government. So the official says that the protest had a similar pattern, including the countries like Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, and Pakistan. Where Gen Z people came to street and the whole country turned into unstable. Now the establishment of country from the beginning will be some revolutionary and all. Thank you for listening.